the basic certain features about string. This is how we echo and use multipliers. You can also use subtraction, multiplication, division. All work same in PHP. The same syntax is there, which is like $f into $s is the syntax for multiplication, and for division it's this, for minus subtraction is this. Okay, so we are not gonna work with those things because they are very basic, same in every language irrespective of the fact. Now we'll move on to let's understand the little bit more differences. Now we'll understand a little bit about arrays. Arrays are basically ways to store data, multiple data. Let's say array, we all know what are array. Let's say how to declare array in PHP. My first array, whatever variable you want to give. So this array is a keyword in PHP, and when I write it this way, it is assumed that it is an array. If I want to so everybody knows, I guess, what is keys and index. So if I want to give a key to it, I can declare array without giving any keys. By default, it will assume the indexes by itself. So indexes start from 0 in PHP. Let's say I declare a variable like this. Okay, so if I want to echo the first value in array, I'll use 0. Okay, it will echo Ankush. Fine, and accordingly I can echo 1 and it will echo Sharma, right? So supposedly now, if I want to give keys to it, so giving the procedure for giving keys is simple. I declare it first, and we use this operator to assign the keys the value. So this is key and this is the value. First is key and Ankush is value. So let's say if I want to give this also a key, but since now I have given the keys, so array PHP doesn't assume indexes by itself, so it will give me an error this way, right? Undefined offset. So to echo now, what we'll have to do is, this way I'll be able to echo the first name. Okay, and obviously you can declare array inside an array. Let's say if I want to give another key and array, let's say class, it can be also an array in itself, which is like btech and civil example. Okay, so if I want to print this array inside array, I'll use this way, because I have not given any keys, so I cannot use any key here. I have to use index. So this will echo class, then btech. Okay, so this will echo btech. Okay, now supposedly I want to print an entire array. We'll remove this for the time being to understand the basics. Yeah, so if I want to print an entire array, so what is the operator for that? What is the method for that? So the print underscore r is the way to print an array. So print underscore r also can print a variable normally. It will print all the values in array as well. So if I use this, I'll get this. So it will print it as array, the keys and the values. So if there are no keys, then indexes and the values. Okay, simple. So let's say if I want to find the length of an array, or how many values are there inside an array, so I'll use this length. Let's say declare length. My count is the predefined function in PHP, my first. So this will echo the counts 3. Okay, so this is simple, the count function. So if I want to use, let's say, for loop, I can easily get the count and then use a for loop. So now we understand a little about loops. So loops are basically, the logic is same in all the languages. For loop is there, then if loop is there, then other loops, while loop is there, switch loop is there. So we'll understand only the loops which have a little difference, and also a loop which is similar, but I'll show you so that you can relate things. So let's say if I want to use a for loop. So for $I equals to 0, $I is less than, let's say, count of the first, my first, $I plus plus. So I'll advise you people to keep your notepad ready, and you type the code as I'm typing. I'll give an indentation. Let's say I want to echo my first. Now since we do not have indexes, we cannot just directly echo the let's say I want to echo maybe multiple times hello, and then a br. Okay, so it will echo br, it should echo br for 5 times. Okay, yeah, it's working fine. Now I couldn't echo the value of the this array because I'm using in keys. So in this case there is a problem. I cannot use for loop to print all the values of my array. So this is the same as every for loop, and similarly while loop is there, switch loop is there, if condition is there. So there's another loop to go through the array, which is for each loop. What does for each do? For each loops through the every value of the array, and you can use it for multiple purposes, not only for array, but in this case it will loop through the each value of array and do whatever we want to do. Let's say, so let's understand the syntax. For each my first as, let's say, anything value, we'll put a looping bracket. So every loop or a function or everything has this braces in PHP, right? And indentation is only, it's not mandatory, but it's a good practice to use indentation. $value, right? So I'll try and refresh. Let's see what's there. Yeah, so it is printing all the values. To make the code look a little bit good, I'll use a br. Fine. So it is print. Now this for each has made it easier for us to print the values. Otherwise we cannot use index way, if you write I there and then use it. Now let's say if I want to get the keys as well. So this loop can be modified a little bit by using this syntax. So we'll modify it, keys value. Okay, so I'll get the same output. Yeah. Now understand how I modified this loop. So in this I have written is for each my first, that means for each value or for each particular property of the my first as keys values. That means the keys will be stored in this and value will be stored in this. So it will loop through through every property. Let's say this is first property, first, and this is, it is also in the form of key and index, value. So it will do what? My first as, it will store first in keys and Ankush in values. Okay, so if I want to print keys, I will just replace keys here. Okay, yeah, so I got the keys as well. So this is the added advantage of for each. You can use it for this purpose, and rest all the loops are same. You can use if $I greater than 0, do something, else do something. Okay, so this is simple. You can always use these loops. Then same in switch, while $I greater than 0, do something. Okay, these are all the loops. You can easily go through them. In the links, you can study the material I have mentioned in the links, and you will be easy to go through. Okay, so we have covered till loops and basics. Now we'll move on to function and classes in the next video, and I hope you are enjoying it. It's good to practice what you have covered up till now, so that you are comfortable with the next topic. Okay, and also the things that I have said that you can cover by yourself, so it's good to go and study about those things. Okay, thank you. Bye.